My name is Mupezeni, and I'm going to start this afternoon session with you. As a recap, in the last session that occurred on Wednesday, we had two steps that were addressed. The first one was on ideas on how to start Expo research project and where to look for ideas. In other words, where learners could look for ideas. And the second step was to narrowing the focus from an idea to hypothesis. And this was done using the following pyramid. So this pyramid was used from the ideation process, from ideas to hypothesis. So this was what was covered in the last session. Today is the second session, and we are going to have three steps. The first step, which I'm going to do.
Maybe I'm not.
Hello. The first step is what I'm going to be doing. How learners should write introduction for the research project and the literature review. The step 4 is how learners will identify and find research problems. And then the final step for this afternoon session would be on aim, research questions, hypothesis, goal, and algorithms. And this will be done, the other two sessions will be done by Mawato Moledi and Lyndon Manas. So I'm going to start on how learners could write an introduction in their research. Every project must have an introduction. Every research project should have an introduction, and this is how learners could do it. The first part of the introduction, learner must introduce the topic. And then, what concepts or definitions will you be using, or the learner will be using? And also the other point is, what are the benefits or significance of doing this research? It must come out from this introduction, who is going to benefit, and what are the benefits, and what is the significance? And also, why the learner is doing this research. What research has been done, also it must also, it's likely maybe 1 or 2 sentences on that. And the rest would amplify under the literature review. How will your research be different? How is it new? How is it an innovative idea? Is it adding new knowledge to what is already known? Please note, this must not be very extensive. We need only about a length of 1 page will be enough. And now, after the writing of the introduction, we should now proceed to write a literature review. Now, a literature review, that's where the learner starts to look for relevant information from various sources. I'm going to look at 2 sources, main ones. The first is from the internet. Now, the learner from the last session, the learner has already the topic. And now you can now go into the internet and type keywords of the topic or phrases in the internet. And then a lot of information is going to come about. And then the learner will choose from all those websites what is appropriate to the research. And also to note that the learner should avoid sources like the Wikipedia, hearsay without proof, and Google. Remember, in the internet there is Google and there is Google Scholar. So a learner must search for Google Scholar and use it. YouTube can also be used with caution. In other words, a learner must ask the teacher, the mentor, or the school champion if it is appropriate to use the particular source from the YouTube. And also, another source of information that can be found is from the books, research papers, magazines, newspapers. Now, here is what happens. When a learner goes to a library or gets a book, he cannot read all the books, but he must quickly go to the contents page of the books and see if the book contains the relevant information that the learner wants. If it is a research paper or research articles, the learner should just read the abstracts of those research projects that have been done somewhere and check if it has the relevant information that he wants. But again, it must be noted that the learner each time from the beginning should be having a journal, which is likely called a diary, where the learner will keep a record of all the relevant books that you have consulted or websites that you might have taken information from. So this journal does not need to be typed. You only need to write with your handwriting, but also you must put in the dates and it must have timelines. So when the learner is writing this literature review, what structure, what does it follow? On top, when you begin, the learner must begin to write information about the topic. What is your topic about? What are you going to talk about? What is it that your research is all about? A few lines on that. Then the project that have been done before, so that you don't repeat what has been done. Also, research projects that are similar to yours or that support your ideas. Also, you must highlight them. Each time you write in your journal the websites or the name of the book and proper referencing the book and websites. And also research projects that are different to yours or that are in contrast with what you think or what you have stressed as your main position. And lastly, on the literature review, you must put a small conclusion to highlight the need for your research. What is it that you want to do that has not been done before? Now, we have an example of a literature review. I'm not going to go through it all, but we'll go through it all later on because you are all going to be having this. But you can have an example of which mineral coating will make solar panels more efficient. You can have an introduction. What is a solar panel? What is it used for? How does it work? And follow all the sequences above. During this, you can also, the learner can use from the website, can take pictures or diagrams into his or your own literature review. But once he does that, it is important that the learner uses refer to where he took that information from. If you check here, this diagram was taken from this website. So to avoid plagiarism, you have to say that you have taken this from the particular, it can be a picture, it can be a diagram. So it has to be referenced in this manner. And also, this is the continuation of the example, which you will also see later. But as you write, if you check here, the learner must reference where is taking the information from. And the book, or if it is a book, then that should be written in the journal in full, and how to reference this using our style that we use, it will be explained in the sessions that will follow. Now, lastly, as a keynote, to summarize, literature review starts at the beginning, when you get an idea and continue throughout the research. And also write what the literature says about the research. Not about the biography, who was, who and why he stayed, no, what he did, that's all, you stick to that. And then you may include diagrams, pictures, as I've shown you earlier on, putting the references. And also, don't forget the use of the journal. Remember, journal is one of the requirements that is required when the judges come to judge. They need to see the journal, and it must be written, and preferably handwritten. It must be handwritten in Harvard format. Thank you so much, Sagwadi. If there are any questions, please, as you can write them on the chat, and also we can discuss them also at the end. Thank you so much.